Hello everyone, my name is Paul and you can call me the Peculiar Paladin, and welcome to my channel. And this channel is going to be all about talking about movies, TV shows, various other things. This channel is going to be basically concentrating on all the English movies and English TV shows, not the Indian ones. There's a reason for that which I'll explain it in a separate introduction video. Altogether it's a separate one. This video is going to be all about Dunkirk. I just came home after watching the film. It's a masterpiece by Nolan. Yet again, obviously, it's a known fact. Whichever films he directed, whatever genre he takes on, it's going to be a masterpiece. But this film was a little bit close to my heart because it was a military-based film. My family is military-based, and I'm preparing to join the army, and this one was so close to me because I saw the effects of the soldiers, how they felt, and how tough it was during the war times, and how hard it was to escape a small part of the map. You know, when you are surrounded by enemies on air, on water, and on land. So how do you escape? Pretty much the film based is on a single 1% of the entire war. Okay, the story is based on 1% of the entire war and a small location called as Dunkirk. It's an actual location, and there are soldiers there, more than 400,000 soldiers, English soldiers, French soldiers, who are trying to escape the narrow sea to the England. They can actually physically see England. They would have quoted that in the movie a couple of times. I could really see home. But they couldn't actually go there because of the air raids that keeps on coming on them. It destroys ships, it destroys all sorts of boats, and even they have air superiority, so they are shooting down English, Air Force down. So physically they cannot do anything. They're like sitting ducks, so they have to escape. They have to survive, and all of the soldiers should not feel the traumatic incident that should happen because they are going to fight even more. So to do that, they should be mentally free, and this film really talks to me about that, how the soldiers take it on all, and then he survives. So the basic premiere, the film starts. I'm going to be talking in two separate videos. The one I'm now recording now is going to be all about the basic storyline, what are the characters, how the story kind of develops and stuff like that. In the next one I will talk about spoilers for those who want to watch that. You've already seen the movie and you want to know what are the spoilers there, some tidbits about the story, small cameos and everything. So I'll talk about that, but let's go into the actual story. The first part of the story is all about the heroes that are stuck in the place. You will be shown a squad, and how they are, surviving for looking for water, drinking from water pipes with just small drops of water, going into the location, going into houses and searching for food and stuff like. And suddenly they are shot down by the German forces, and just one survives, and he goes saved by the French forces, and then he goes to the beach. So that's number one. Actually, literally, they will be showing the number one, number two, and number three in the film, and the story concentrates only on those three. Number one is the beach, the location where there should be a small mall, so where it will be like soldiers waiting for ships, and it's like a pier, modern day pier. So ships come there, stop, and takes on soldiers and go. That's the main aspect of it. So they shouldn't lose it. If they lost that, there's no transportation for these ships, because that's a beach and the tides are not believable. They can be changing quite sometimes. So it takes a long time to get high tides, so it takes like 6 hours to get night tide. So the ships coming there and grounding them will take a long time before the enemy forces, they are coming there, advancing by each hour. So if they are there to wait for this long, it would be a tough job. Number one. And number two is the sea. So the English Navy would have requested civilian boats, and they would be coming from England to take on people from Dunkirk and then transporting them back to England. So that's their job. Obviously, it's a civilian ship, so there are not going to be any guns or weapons, and it's going to take some while. And it's all small ships, so it takes a lot of soldiers' spaces to get there. But they will be requesting more ships, so it will be all coming in the way. And the third is the air. So This is a air superiority. The German forces are sending in more bombers, jet fighters to take on, to kill mainly the soldiers, and the bombers to destroy the ships, whatever ships there are. And obviously, Air Force beats Navy all the time. So whatever artillery you might have on the ship, and you're trying to shoot it down, obviously it's going to fly away pretty easily. It's going to maneuver so easily, and then it's going to shoot down any planes that are going to be there. That's actually number three that I want to talk about. Air combat in the movie was so awesome. The music in the background would be right for that amount of awesomeness, and how they would shoot down the German Air Force, and then how the German Air Force would shoot down the English forces, and it goes on and on. But the main thing aspect would be like how they drop bombs on the ships, and their ships will blow up, and soldiers will be like abandoned ship, and then so these are the three main focus on the film. So the story revolves around one soldier who will be coming to the beach, as I said in the starting of this video. He will find a friend in arms, so they won't talk, but they will understand each other, and kind of like brother in arms. They will save themselves. Like they are not cowards, but they want to go home. They have seen too much. They are not ready for this amount of destruction. So they want to go home. So whatever it takes, they try to go home. So they do that, and there would be another soldier in actually the ship that would be so close to getting off the mole to reach England. But then there will be an airstrike which will destroy the ship. So like the admiral or the captain there would be cold-hearted, not cold-hearted, but the situation would demand him to go there to destroy to pull away the ship that is destroying, to not let it sink in a mole, so other ships can come and pick up the soldiers. So that would be the sad part. And the English government would stop sending in destroyers because they are getting destroyed by the Air Force. And the silver lining would be in this, like they won't be focused on in land. The tanks and the artillery from the German forces would stop. Obviously they would be enclosing them, but they would stop. They would not advance, because why waste precious tanks when they can shoot down from the sky like fish in a barrel? So that would be the Germans' idea, and it would work effectively. But in the end, obviously the civilian ships would come through. They would take upon all the soldiers. They would save many of them, but the losses would be in terms of the products, not the soldiers. So like the ships would have been destroyed. There would be like a lot of Air Force fighter pilots would die, and the flights would die. So the materialistic point of view, there would be a lot of losses for the allies, but for the Axis it was a victory just in terms of materialism. They would have not killed any soldiers, like not more. Okay, there would be some losses, but not too much to be concerned about. So like more than 300,000 soldiers would be surviving in the end. So this is the basic premature part of the story that I wanted to talk about. So what is the exciting thing in this story? It's simple. Obviously, like it's 1% of the entire war. So it's not like showing how the combat works, how this. It's an emotional thriller. It's not like your typical thriller where, like in Saving Private Ryan, obviously they would go through combat, they would be fighting, they would be surviving. So it's not Spielberg style, it's Nolan style. It's like slow build up of emotional drama, which would obviously end in something great. That is something that should be admired by anyone who's doing this. The music is the plus point in the entire story. However you look at it, if the music wasn't right, the film would have sucked. That can be said for any films, but this film is like a periodic drama and a thriller, so the music should be going on from like a dramatical point of view to a thrilling point of view. So dramatic, thrilling, dramatic, thrilling. And Hans Zimmer would have done that in a perfect orchestric way. So the music would just envelop yourself into the music, and you can understand the film better. Obviously, I was so worried because it was not a crowded theater, but Indian theaters are not clear. You don't have to be crowded. They'll be like shouting. They'll be talking. It would get pretty annoying. I'm not kidding. I went to the Civil War movie. I was like pretty much this close to punching a guy. I was that angry. It was like explaining every dialogue to his friend. It was like, they're Indians, man. That's just the way it is. You cannot do anything. So I was worried actually, because there will be like, oh my God, this could be there could be some conversations behind me. I could not see the movie. It could be a disturbance, but nothing happened. That's because of the movie. Everyone was silent. It was pin drop silent actually. That's how a theater should be. There was pin drop silence, not because they are bored, they are not interested, or they want to talk more about the film. It was just about the music. It kind of like shut them up, and then it took a journey, and it took all of us with us. Okay, and that's the main part of the film, the music. And screenplay wise, Nolan didn't do anything crazy like Inception. He didn't showcase us this, that, and you know, different zones of levels of story, and then connecting it in the end, and then showing us like the end. Okay, this is your decision. Whatever you think is the end, it's the end. He didn't finish it like that, or he didn't have the emotional depth of Interstellar. Like the last scene where they would meet, the age difference would just put the drain on you. At that point, oh my God, they didn't have that. But in the end, the last few moments in the movie, like 10 minutes before the end, you would you'd actually feel like, oh shit, that one. And the emotional speech given by Churchill in real life would be read by an evacuated soldier, in terms of stress, like how he would feel when he goes off from the escape train, like when he gets off on England, how the people would see them, like would they spit at them, would they look down on them. He would feel so bad, but the response would be entirely different. They would welcome these soldiers, they would welcome the heroes, they would clap for them, they would give them food, they will give them tea, they will give them blankets, welcome the heroes in the way they should have been welcomed. And that, for me, that ending with that kind of story, with that kind of music, and that kind of screenplay, that kind of story, 10 out of 10. Simple as that. There was no place in the movie where like you felt like, that shouldn't be there, or why is it there exactly, or would you think like, I would have removed that. No, you wouldn't have. Shut up. Okay, you don't know anything about movies at all. Then there was no point in the movie where you would get bored as well. You will be like thinking out of phase from the music. So the music will be keeping you in phase with the movie the entire time. It's 2 hours, simple. It was not crazy or anything, and it didn't showcase us the combat that much. There was no actually combat in the entire movie. There was no like fighting, except in the air warfare. That's different. Okay, except in the land or in the sea, there was no combat. Just like surviving, 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 surviving. But in the air, again, I want to finish it off with like talking about the air combat in the game. Sorry, in the movie. The air combat is actually really cool. They didn't try too much of CGI. Didn't feel like, oh my God, this graphical enhancement is really disturbing the movie or enhancing the movie. They didn't have that. Like, obviously, it's a Nolan film, so you would always feel the reality and how you would feel the actual things, not graphical things. And it was not in 3D, so obviously it was like cool movie. Obviously, he wouldn't do any 3D movies, he said, which was a cool thing. Air combats was important in this movie. It was actually vocal point of the movie, because if England didn't have any fighters there, it would have been slam dunk for Germany. They would have killed all the soldiers, they would have killed all the ships. But because they were there, actually, like the end of the movie, like there will be like, okay, that's spoilers. I will talk about it in the next video. But for now, the Peculiar Paladin. Thank you guys for watching. This is just my try on things. I would obviously get better at it, but this is my first video, and I wanted to do. I'd obviously go and write about it in Facebook, but I was like, what? Why would I do that? Now I'm a YouTuber, so I wanted to. And this channel was like suspended for like 3 months. I just got it back, and then I was like, okay, delete all the videos in gaming that were there, because I have a separate channel for that. So just upload these kind of videos. Like I'm going to talk about how different shows are there, what other different shows are there, what are the things that we can expect from new movies that are coming, several things in the future. But for now, this film is a must watch. So go there, go to theaters, spend your money on this, get a popcorn, 2 hours film, stay there, get in sync with the music, watch the entire film, enjoy. 10 out of 10. Nolan, you beauty. Thank you guys. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.